when it came to the Oscars, I was, for a good part of my 20s, I was kind of catty about the idea of Oscars and stuff. Because pretty much I think, for the most part, I think the 80s was one of the worst decades of cinema that came out of Hollywood.
Right.
And it was very compartmentalized.
Right.
And very uncreative. And I'm quite happy that I had a little bit of something to do in the 90s of breaking that shit up.
Right.
But consequently, I'd go see great movies and think I love this and that, and they would all be completely ignored at the Academy Awards at the end of every year. But even a lot of the movies that I love that I think are the great movies, they weren't nominated. Wild Bunch wasn't nominated for shit, and Good, the Bad, and the Ugly wasn't nominated for shit, and I think it's the best movie ever made. All right?
Wow.
So it's like the shit I liked wasn't really represented at the Academy Awards. And so I just thought, that was just going to be the way it is.
You were just down on like, fuck it. It's not for me.
It's not for me.
I'll just do my thing. Right.
It's not for me. All right. And so then, so all of a sudden, I didn't think anything would be Oscar about Pulp Fiction.
Wow.
And so all of a sudden, there's a little talk about it. And it's growing and it's bigger. But you know how it is when you're too cool for school. Kind of like, it's, it is exciting, but you don't want to give yourself over to it. You don't want to be let down, but you also don't want to seem like you're pandering. You want to be uncool.
Yeah. Don't want to get off your script. I mean, I know that girl is fine and shit like that, but I ain't finna just be going up in the bar and all the drinks in the bar.
Yeah. Whatever. Oddly enough, when it really hit me, and when I actually could stop playing it off, was I'd become friendly with Steven Spielberg.
Right.
And the big competition, and the nominations hadn't come out yet. But the big competition was Forrest Gump.
Right.
And that was one of the years, that was one of the biggest competition years. It was between Pulp Fiction and Forrest Gump, slugging it down. They almost seemed, at least by the press, to represent two different sides of the coin.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was always a big fan of Robert Zemeckis.
Right.
And especially his movie Used Cars with Kurt Russell. It's a real funny movie.
Right.
Anyway, Spielberg invited me and another great writer-director, John Milius, and Robert Zemeckis. We should all go out and go duck hunting. Yeah, I've never gone duck hunting before.
Duck hunting, baby.
Yeah. But the other idea, me and Bob would spend some time together so we wouldn't be adversaries or keep it in a proper perspective.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that's actually fun about Spielberg is he's been around for a long time, so, almost like Warren Beatty, he's like this industry analyst.
Yes.
And he doesn't soft pedal what he thinks.
Right.
It's just the way it is.
Right.
And so we're walking through this fucking forest with our shotguns and our little duck whistle. And he goes, so he's in front of me walking, and he goes, so here's the thing. Here's how I think it's going to end. I don't think your movie's going to win Best Picture. I think Forrest Gump's going to win Best Picture. And I don't think you're going to win Best Director. I think Bob's going to win that. I think it's Bob's time, and I think that's how it's going to go down. But I do think you're going to win Best Original Screenplay. I can't imagine you won't win Best Original Screenplay.
Wow.
And then he stops. Because he's been talking behind me.
Right.
To me that way. He stops, turns around and looks at me and goes, second movie, Little Gold Man? Not so bad, huh? And then turns around and keeps walking. And I really heard it.
Yes.
It took him years to get that Little Gold Man.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, 2 movies, Little Gold Man? That's the shit.
That's the shit, baby. Let's do a toast to that, man.